Afternoon, everybody. Sorry, I was getting engrossed in the adverts there. I love the adverts on YouTube. It's the same old people. I can't imagine how much money those people that advertise on YouTube spend. Those trading gurus. Especially Mr. Secker. Got to be a couple of $100,000 a month or something, isn't it? Stupid amount. Afternoon, David. Just got a quick trade on at the minute. I'm just trying to short this DAX pullback. I think I got in a little bit early on it. I'm not even sure it's going to pull back. I'm not quite sure where it's going today. I'm going to have a look in a minute. But we got a 50% pullback. I got in on this 38 bounce down here. But it's pushed up to 50 and it looks like it wants to go to 61.8. But I'm going to stop out anyway. But see how it goes on. Afternoon, Gary Diamond. See where we go. Right. Morning, Fanor. It's funny having people having mornings still. Not only a great author, I'm not an author. Don't think I am anyway. Much appreciated, David. I'm certainly not an author, I don't think. I don't write stuff down. My English is awful. Right, written English. Spoken English isn't that much good either. Anyway, afternoon, Andy. Right, no news this afternoon. We've had no news this afternoon or this morning at all. The last few hours we've just basically had not a lot. Nothing much has changed with the invasion. A lot of talking, nothing happening. We got no news today at all apart from low speaking after market, which is not today. 10 o'clock markets flip over anyway, so that's kind of tomorrow morning. So yeah, nothing really happening news-wise. The markets have been up and down. Biden set to ban US imports on Russian oil as soon as today. Blimey, that's quick. Afternoon, David. Scratch out the author, yeah. I'm about to get stopped out on that. So let's just have a quick look at oil, where that's going today. Dropped. Nope, pumped. I was going to say. So we're approaching that 127 again on oil. Basically, Putin has said if the US dumps oil, he will shut off the pipeline to Germany. So if he does that, that's going to annoy half of Europe. If Biden says he's going to put a ban on Russian oil, because Putin will stop supplying oil to Europe, and then everybody's got no oil and Putin's got no money. So I can't see how any of that is going to help anybody whatsoever. But it's down to Biden. It will surely send the price of a barrel soaring if he does that. Somebody said today, it was on the BBC News, that if that does happen, I can't actually get my chart to go any further than that. But if that does happen, we could see oil rocketing to $300 a barrel. So, yeah, I can't actually show you that on the chart because my chart literally does not go anywhere above 135. So, yeah, that would be interesting. I'm really tempted just to hit the buy button on oil at the minute. Just to see what happens. Because this thing should go to the moon. In fact, I might put a little buy up there. Should we do a little cheeky one? Let's try what's a 0.1 worth? I don't trade oil at all. Let's have a quick look what a 0.1's worth. Oh, not a lot. I think that's a pretty good trade. So that's going to be 70 quid. So let's go with 0.5 long up there. Oh, why don't that stop? I think that's worth $400 risk long, don't you? If that goes, that goes. It's going to go, isn't it? So yeah, I think that's a pretty good speculative trade, long on oil at the moment. It's just pulled back. So we've done the gap fill pullback to there. We're pushing up high again. We've just had a big spike, slight pullback in that spike. As soon as it breaks those highs, it's not coming back, is it? There you go. I'm long oil. I don't trade oil. Hopefully there's no massive overnight swap or anything ridiculous on it. Does anybody trade oil? I've never, I honestly, hand on heart, say I don't think I've ever traded oil. I've traded it in the futures market, but I've never traded it in spot or CFD. So that could be interesting, couldn't it? Anyway. Right, so we got 20 minutes to the open. I caught two beautiful trades during London. Caught gold buys and Aussie New Zealand sells. Gold. Very nice. Yeah, nice reversal on that pullback in Asia. Yeah. Gold is long, definitely still as well. So it's another thing you want to buy. I don't like gold because gold goes crazy. Mind you, oil will probably do the same. If you're using a stop, it doesn't really matter, does it? But oil and gold, I think we haven't seen the end of it yet. Gold. We've got this high. This is the highest price gold has been to in the recent times, and we are. It looks like heading back up there. So 2074 basically is the high on gold. Afternoon Rahat. So pullbacks and longs up to there. If it breaks that, then I think we're probably going to get one of these parabolic moves where we just spike straight out the top for a week or so. It's going to continue to go up because everybody's putting their money into tangible assets, and obviously gold is the biggest tangible asset everybody trades. So I would look longs on that, not shorts anytime. But it's just trying to catch it basically on a dip, which is the difficult thing because it's not really giving too many dips. So it's range breakouts at the moment on all this stuff. Range breakouts are the way forward. Same with the indices. Right, so let's have a look at what's happened this morning. So the DAX, we've had a big push up, which is what I traded this morning, if you remember. So I took 3 trades this morning on that, banked 2% on that this morning on the move up. We then pulled back and kind of double topped. We've pulled back again, so we're basically range bound at the minute. And this massive initial propulsion move is what everybody's buying up. So the DAX is being bought up at the minute. I'm shorting at the moment because I think we possibly come back down into this zone this afternoon, but it may well just go straight out the top. So if you look at it on the daily, we put a lovely bullish engulfing in at the minute. Remember I said we are so far extended away from this 24, it's due a pullback. We've had 3 down days with gaps. This is the kind of pullback move that we're getting put in at the minute. But saying that, this market is in absolute freefall and it's not doing what we would normally see. What we're getting at the moment is 1 bar pullbacks. And this is the 1 bar pullback. So I suspect we may go into a slight down rotation today. But equally, if you look at this on a higher time frame, we're popping back into this accumulation we had out of the COVID bounce. So potentially this is where we were going to find some sort of equilibrium and maybe some nice balance in the market where we may consolidate for a little bit, but we'll see. A lot of this is going to depend on what happens with Biden and what he decides to do with oil. If he decides to put this embargo on oil and Putin decides to shut off the oil and the gas pipes into Europe, that's not going to help the Europe, is it? So it's not going to help the Eurozone. It's not going to help stocks. It's not going to help the big energy producers, all of which sit in the top 30 stocks in the US and Germany. So it's going to be negative, but it hasn't happened yet. So again, it's all hinging on the flip of a coin. Basically, somebody's going to say something and this thing's going to move fast. So just got to be prepared for it when it moves and try and jump on board it. Ride the trend. So Nasdaq, pretty much the same sort of thing. We've popped down with the S&P. All the indices basically have all popped down towards the lows. We've had a nice big range put in on them today, but we're kind of back where we started. So no real clues at the moment as to which direction that we're going. So this is now officially a collapse. Yeah, it's officially a collapse when we got that initial pullback. I can't see any reason at the moment. Bear in mind, this here is where everybody started saying, oh, this looks like we might be dropping. This looks like a bear market might be starting. We haven't had a bear market for quite a few years. We're due one. Then all of a sudden, Ukraine happened. So now the market is like, holy cow. Everyone's pulling their money out of stocks and we're in a bear market. It's not going to go up fast, is it? It's more likely going to go into accumulation drop. So hard to buy, hard to sell into pullbacks on it as well. So that's kind of where we are with all the indices at the moment. Today, in particular, no real clues. We've had a down day. We've done a bit of a pullback, and we're kind of sitting where we started. So there's not really any directional clues. So it's going to be, I think today's play is going to be at the open, find a direction and jump on it. So maybe the 5-minute opening range break today, or maybe even getting in before that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, very, very difficult to read the indices at the moment. US dollar this morning has kind of accumulated. It looked like it was going to be really weak at the outset. We had this big bear candle put in, which got retraced, and we haven't really gone anywhere since. So again, if you look at that from a daily perspective, we're kind of sitting as an inside bar. No real directional bias on it. Hasn't given us any indication as to which way it's going to go today. And the fact that we've got no news catalyst today to drive the market in any direction, I think it's literally going to be speculative money coming in at the New York Open, which is going to give us a direction, but we've no idea which way that direction is going to go at the moment. So very difficult conditions at the minute for across the board. Again, not expecting it to get any better. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, massive drop. We've plunged straight through 125 ADR. We're approaching 150. So that's coming down very, very nicely. We've just broken the lows on that one. So we've now officially got a peak formation high, low, lower high, lower low. So it is looking more bearish than bullish, but it is also kind of range bound. So we've had 3 down days. I would expect a little bit of a pullback tomorrow and then potentially a further drop down based on New Zealand dollar strength. So this is kind of about right for a pullback where we are at the moment based on the current market movement. So this is probably not a bad ADR reversal to take today, but you need to get a reversal alert on it. M15, yeah, just had one on M5, which is getting close to being invalidated potentially. So difficult at the moment on that one. Euro odd. So the euros today were off to the moon to start with. Then they all came back again. Then they all pushed up again. Again, it all looked really, really rosy this morning. But London, we haven't gone anywhere. We've just kind of gone into a bit of an accumulation. The same across the board with all of these euros. They've had an up session, but judging by the strength that we had at the open, it looked like it was going to go absolutely crazy, and we didn't get that follow through. So all the euros basically still bullish, but there's no real conviction for longs at the minute. So again, we've got news on Thursday of the rate announcement. Thursday and the rate announcement, I think, is probably when we're going to get that move. And I suspect the move will be bearish if we don't get the move beforehand on news about oil pipelines being closed. So, they've put in a plan to try and wean themselves off. The whole of Europe tried to wean itself off 70% of its natural resources that it gets from Russia by the end of this year. The end of this year is 6 to 9 months away, so that is really not going to make any impact whatsoever if Russia decides to turn the pipeline off anytime in the next week, is it? So best laid plans not going to work, are they? But that's the plan, is to try and get themselves off Russian oil, which I think everybody's going to be doing from now on anyway. The other plans they've got is to do a massive bond sale to raise money for defence and for energy. So Euro is basically looking to try and have a mass sale to generate a load of capital, which they're potentially going to need to defend their borders and obviously put this new energy infrastructure into place. So that all costs a hell of a lot of money. So short term, if the bond sale goes ahead, and they will probably announce that in the ECB press conference on Thursday as well, we could see some inflation on the euro ahead of obviously the next leg down. So euro, I think we're probably going to see some movement on towards the end of this week. But where we are at the moment, we still haven't really got anywhere. Pound as well, not really got anywhere. We've had a bit of a push up, and we've just accumulated throughout the throughout the London session. So again, no real movement. So just a very, very quiet session today so far on the pound and the euro. So calm before the next storm and the next drop, next leg down. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I would be bearish on euros and bearish on pound at the moment, and look to sell any pops really. New Zealand's not really gone anywhere either, so it's pretty crap day to day basically, isn't it? Not very much movement across the board. So you can see obviously on the ADRs, we haven't had many ADRs hit. We've had these lit up for days on end, haven't we? And now it's all started to calm down a bit. So let's look at the RSIs. So 4 hours, we've got Aussie New Zealand. Absolutely catastrophic drop. We're just tapping straight into the 72 where we are at the moment, right down here. So as I said, this is due a pullback. So good buying opportunity on the Aussie New Zealand, but I think probably for the next leg down. So bias on this one would be short, but obviously you can play the pullback. We will get a pullback on that move, but look at the last one we had. It was absolutely tiny. So we're not getting very big, strong pullbacks. So somewhere into that propulsion maybe, and then another leg down from there. So that looks like a pretty nice looking long opportunity, Aussie New Zealand. These are both kind of neutral at the moment, and the fact that they both move quite often together means you'll probably get a fairly orderly move on it when it starts to do its pullback. So pretty good opportunity, Aussie New Zealand. Euro US dollar obviously is just still shot. 31. Oh, that's the last candle. Yeah. So that will be unlit in a minute. Pound New Zealand. Still embedded, still extended. Looking for a pullback on this one. Pound is a long, obviously, at the moment, based on COT bias. So is New Zealand. It's which of these is going to come out the best. At the moment, this is looking like a pretty decent flag opportunity for me, but it is extended. So if you do get into this as a long, you've got lots and lots and lots of areas that potentially the market can push up and react in for more sellers to step in. So it's likely we're going to head up into these areas, but quite how far we get, again, very, very difficult to tell at the moment. Same with the pound US. We're in accumulation at the moment because we haven't got a strong US dollar. So again, a little bit of a push and then potentially a drop back down. New Zealand CAD, we had that move off of those highs. So there was a trade opportunity there, but the initial alert was somewhere around here. So chances are you would have only really got out of it a decent break even because of the speed and the velocity of that move. But then again, it wouldn't have given you too many opportunities to get in because it just didn't stop on the way up. Potentially, we're putting in an M pattern at the moment. We haven't had that reverse alert on the 4 hour yet, and we haven't got a long way to go to get to support either. So it's a short opportunity, but the short opportunity really was on the hourly up here. As you can see, we haven't even had a reverse alert on the hourly. It's just got into a 2-day accumulation after that. Always worries me when you get these big, strong pushes and we just accumulate, because the option is there, obviously, just to break to the upside and put in a second leg. It's just the fact that these legs are so big at the moment. Normally, this is kind of what we would expect the move to be before we get the profit take. At the moment, this could well be just the first leg of a move, couldn't it? So there's just an extra high level of risk involved with any of these reversals at the minute. The US dollars, US dollar CAD, obviously, we would be long US dollar, so US dollar CAD and US dollar Swiss don't really want to be taking pullbacks on these. US dollar Swiss obviously is up at potential resistance there, but I would expect the US dollar to break out long. Now, what will happen to the US dollar if Biden announces that they are going to stop purchasing oil? Don't know. We could have a completely different move going on there, couldn't we? So, again, we'll have to wait and see what happens with news. But there's no real news on the US dollar at the moment until tomorrow afternoon with the CPI figures. Sorry, Thursday afternoon with CPI. We have got JOLTS job openings tomorrow, but that doesn't tend to do an awful lot. So CPI on Thursday after the ECB press conference is where I'd expect some movement on the US dollar. So quite possibly just accumulation at the minute. So there are opportunities there. The only one that I really like the look of, just based on the fact that these are kind of neutral at the moment currencies and unlikely to be ones that get massive movement, is that one. The rest of them are all a little bit risky, but if we do get those pullbacks on them, they're going to be very, very profitable. It's just, if they're not, you just can't tell at the moment where you're going to get opportunities to get into additional positions, and how long these squeezes could potentially go on for. That is the difficulty at the minute. This is a normal squeeze, if you can call something a normal squeeze. A normal squeeze has an exit because a normal squeeze is speculative. This isn't speculative. This is war related. Potentially. I mean, we don't know. As I said this morning, we don't know how much speculative money's in there and how much this is just people getting their cash out. So we just can't tell. So hourlies, similar sort of thing. We've got the Aussie New Zealand on the hourly. So again, very, very, very nice, strong move. We're down at 150 ADR as well. It's just coming off of 150 ADR quite nicely at the bottom there. So looking for alert on M5. You just had one which was invalidated, so you got one just about to trigger there. Lots of room to the upside on that. So nice looking Aussie New Zealand. And as I say, the US dollar CAD and US dollar Swiss and US dollar yen. Don't really want to be looking for short opportunities, but if you want to short those, they're very extended on the hourlies as well. US dollar yen, all these US dollars, they look, I mean, textbook, aren't they? US dollar Swiss and the US dollar yen, textbook double top plays, triple top, range bound plays at the minute. And you're getting that reaction at the top there. Sort of playing it somewhere down to here, or even just a 50% retracement is going to be pretty safe normally, isn't it? But if that breaks out to the highs, no idea when it's going to stop. So tricky decision. As I say, at the moment, I would be more inclined to do that. And if that happens, so be it. It's the safest way to trade at the minute. When opening a position on ADR today, the next day will be previous day's ADR, still be valid because the ADR changes the next day. If you open a position today, you're opening a position regardless of what your entry reason was. The ADR will obviously change tomorrow because this is the average daily range of today. The average daily range of tomorrow will be drawn in differently depending on where the market opens and what the ADR figure is. So yeah, if you take a position today based on ADR, if you're talking about Aussie New Zealand, if you go long here and it does that, tomorrow your ADR will be somewhere else, won't it? Is that what you mean? Not quite sure if I've understood the question. ADR changes every day. Rahat, in Toolkit, if risking 0.5% when the stop loss is hit of the last or this candle, then it's more than 0.5% loss. Why is it so? I don't know what you mean. If you set a trade with 0.5% risk like I just did there, and it hits my stop loss, I lose 0.5%. I'm not quite sure what you mean. So that was a loser. 0.5%. I lost 0.5%. Not quite sure I've understood the question. We've got 1 minute to the open. So I'm going to trade a mix today of... I'm just going to keep an eye on the DAX. 5 minute, I think. Let's get rid of some of these fibs. And futures. I've had a nightmare on futures this morning. I've been stupidly trying to trade M1 during Globex, which is a stupid thing. Every time I do this, I get burnt. But I was trying to get ahead of the game this afternoon to try and get my target hit. And I screwed it up. So market's open, 2:30. So yeah, I've been chopped about this morning a little bit, trying to trade this pullback, which didn't go very well. So I'm 250 down at the start, which is never a good place to be. But hey, I was 630 down yesterday. We ended up positive. So today I'm looking basically to see where we go at the open. Very difficult to tell where we're going to go with the price action we've had. There's more room to fill this gap today to the upside. And obviously we are very, very extended on these indices. So it's a tricky one. I'm going to let the market open and then have a look at what the open's like and sort of decide really from there as to where I think we're going to go. What's everybody's thoughts? Are we up or down today? It's a tricky one because we're kind of mid-range, aren't we? We haven't had any big, strong pushes in either direction yet. Afternoon, Stevia. I often notice when the stop loss is hit, then above buttons, profit shows like 0.7 or 0.9. Could be slippage. Could be your offset. Afternoon, Franco. I mean, it's just all down, isn't it? It's so hard to want to long this, but we're so extended. Looks like it wants to continue short at the minute. Going short one. See if we can get a move down out the gates. Everything's looking heavy. The Dow's open very heavy. The Dow's tried to push up and immediately got rejected straight out of that zone, which is a 50% retracement on that last move we've had down today during London. DAX is opening short. Might try one quick short on the DAX as well. Yeah, slow open. Even they don't know where they're going yet. No, probably not. It is a flip of the coin market in a minute. Too short. Got to squeeze some juice out of New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I had to close early, fluxing about. Yeah, been very difficult market today. Chop today. I got chopped around today. You can see I got chopped around today. $225 down at the open. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar is longing as though it may be worth a punt long. Yeah, I think Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, I think that's the safest trade, I think, at the minute out there. We're extended on RSI on the 4 hour. We're at the 72. We've just taken out these lows, and the market structure at the moment is very range bound and looking like a pullback. So it does look like a good long. The pullbacks on this last move we've had this week, though, from the high we put in on Thursday last week, the pullbacks have been very, very small, though. So it's difficult. It's a difficult one, but yeah, technically looking long. Okay, so there's the opening range. So basically I've got a short on. I'm looking for a pullback and break of the opening range low. Doesn't look like I'm going to get it. That's a strong reaction. That's off. Wow. Does want to go long today. Or does it? There's a lot of buyers coming in there. Sellers are holding out at the minute. So we've got these propulsion areas at the minute where all these sells started, all being defended at the moment. Looks like a lot more buyers coming into the market than sellers to me, though. Good absorption at the minute, though. So we'll see what happens. But that's a big, strong reaction at the open. Getting beaten back down on the DAX. Okay, I'm going to put a sell stop under the lows and go for an opening range break low as well. So that'll be adding to the shorts. See if that holds. I've got 2.5 minutes left on that candle. Anything can happen. All the 1 minute traders just got whipsawed to death there. Dow really rejecting that that push higher. This feels to me today already like it's a choppy day. It's been a choppy morning, and the market, this open is choppy. It's got one of those feelings about one of those whipsaw-y days about it already. I don't like whipsaw-y days. I might have a slow afternoon and play a sort of swing this afternoon. I don't really want to get chopped about. I hate trading when it's choppy like this. Move my TPs down a little bit. So this is where I'm looking this afternoon for us to come back to. I'm not necessarily looking for a move down today, but I'm looking for them to come and retest this area and see if there is buyers in the market at the moment. What size moving averages am I using? These are just a 20 and a 50. Okay, breaking out the lows. Dow's going for it. So Dow's got these lows to contend with down here. If those are broken, we should be coming down to support. Anywhere in here. So officially back to the open now on the S&P, back where we started this morning. So looks to me like a down day. Potentially we're going to go green to red. So 3 short on that move now. Moving my TPs. I want to make sure I'm not going to get out on 2%. I'm going to try and ride this. I made the mistake of doing that earlier. You can see this trade I took earlier. Took 3 positions short. I made the mistake of having it set on 2%. It got me out. I say I made the mistake of getting out at 2%. I got out at 2%. But just going to take that 0.7. Don't like that. Might just be a pullback, but I'm just worried about getting whipsawed today. I can get back in on that. 3 short now. If this is a whipsaw, this is going to be very annoying. The other reason I'm closing that out is because I'm actually short on here as well. I don't want to be short on here and short on CFDs. The move of the day was the morning. Yeah. Yeah, I've just got a feeling this afternoon is going to be choppy. If it is a choppy afternoon, the way to trade it is to trade M1 and just get in and out fast. Nasdaq's pushing up. Dow's rejecting these lows at the minute. No, don't like the look of this at all. Closing one. Oh, platform did this to me the other day. Orders turned orange and couldn't move them. Yeah, closing that amount. Flat. Not a good day. It's going to be whipsaws this afternoon. I feel a lot of liquidity has been lost. Retail traders killed. Now they are shy to jump back in. Bad enough they had to lie to their wives. Yes. Quite possibly. So, what I might do is just up my contract size and just try and scalp in and out fast, because I get this looks very whipsawy today. We can see it's going to be quite difficult to trade it. It's quite quick as well at the moment. So that was a rejection of the lows. I'm just getting ready to buy this. I've got a feeling it's rejected those lows across the board. I've got a feeling we're going to want to push higher potentially today. So I'm just waiting for a pullback into this area and see if we can get a retest of this zone and getting one down there. Going long. Come on. Let's have a little pop. There we go. Rejecting those highs. Just closing two. Closing. Nearly managed to grab some back then, but got to be quick on this today. Really have. It's going to be horrible, horrible choppy session. Hold on to your wallets. Biden is on at 10:30. What time is that in the UK? What time is he planning on talking? UK government to announce today how it intends to reduce oil and gas imports from Russia as well. I'm putting a buy stop in just above the high of that last candle. We've got really nice wicks rejecting this zone. So there's a lot of buying pressure, a lot of buyers absorbing the sellers. Why are these orders yellow? I hate it when it does this. This is bad connection, isn't it? I'm not overly enamoured with Elite at the minute. 2 hours. Okay. 4:30 then, roughly. Jeez. This horrible. Horrible market. Yeah, I think it's liquidity, isn't it? I'm just going to close this out. Just going to give it the 15 now. Go on. It's dead. Wow. 685. Way to give it back. See, what are these orders doing in here? These should be closed. They're not there, look. These orders are not there. There's something really, really not impressed with Elite. Possibly the worst prop firm I've ever traded with. Apart from the fact they screwed my account up and shut all my positions accidentally. And now I can't get order execution. There's no reason these should be here. I've shut the position. I'm flat. They're not showing in my open positions. But they're showing on here. Not shown in Rhythmic. So what's going to happen if I press the buy button now? Am I going to get 4 positions short? So we're sitting in this propulsion gap at the minute. Looks like we're rejecting this. Doesn't look like there's an awful lot of buyers coming through at the minute. Just sitting range bound. So waiting for a break. Took an exotic. Zar Yen Long. You're brave. Trading the Zar. It's a good way to make pips, trading the Zar. What? Same with Apex, is it? So it's obviously a market issue, I guess. Completely sideways moving averages at the minute. Not good trading conditions for anything at the moment. We'll see what happens in the next sort of 15-20 minutes. It won't be to do with Ninja Trader. It'll be more to do with market fills, I would imagine. Just kind of want to get in and out with $100 at the minute. Just chip away. If I can get order execution. Oil trade's triggered. I am long oil, officially long oil. This is my oil virgin trade. I don't trade oil. I'm liking the look of it though. Thank you very much. I've got no idea where to TP on this. Let's go for one. What should we go for? $300 a barrel? Can I go that high? No, can't go that high. Should make 150, shouldn't we? I'm going TP just under 150 a barrel. Just broken to the downside on the DAX. So we're just testing these lows. This is kind of where I was expecting to come down to, but scared out by that whipsaw today. Okay, short on the DAX. Okay, I'm going one short on the S&P as well. We're getting very close to the lows here. If we do break these lows, we should pop through those and get a decent sized candle in. So I'm looking for a decent move to the downside if we pop these lows. It's a bit risky, but if it does go, it'll be a nice reward. And the fact that the DAX has just put a new low in does seem as if we're ever so slightly bearish at the open, but not a lot of movement at the minute. Got 0.5% risk on that as well. Doesn't want to go either way, does it? Projecting at the lows again, look. God. So US dollar's not really gone anywhere. We've got a doji formed on the hour at the minute with zero directional bias on the US dollar either. So we're just contracting at the minute. So just getting ready to pop one way or the other. When we get the pop, it's going to be quite a decent move by the looks of things, but it doesn't know which way it wants to go at the moment. So gone back green. We're literally flicking around red to green, like red, green, red, green. It's like playing Squid Games. There's no movement on the euro. Pound's looking like it's having a little bit of a push at the open. Got weak Aussie, weak New Zealand. No, not that weak. Not a lot of movement anywhere. Apart from oil. Struggling at these lows. Okay, we've broken down on the S&P and the NAS. Dow's thinking about it. God, that is a long time to execute an order. Look at that. Makes you wonder if they'd honour your TP if you hit that. Okay, so we're starting to break down on the indices. Very gingerly, though. So, didn't get the break to the high that I was looking for. We're gradually breaking the lows. So, suspect that we might be going first, obviously, for a push on the lows today. And then, obviously, targeting weekly, or sorry, monthly low. DAX trades broken out to the downside too. Going short one more. Sell stop under the low. Oh. Just going to adjust stops and TPs on those orders as well. See how far we can get on that. 3 minutes and your order's still pending change. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Whether this might be an issue with Rhythmic, or I'm not sure what this is an issue with. It did it to me the other day. If it's happening on Elite and it's happening on Apex as well, I suspect it's probably a Rhythmic issue. Because Rhythmic is obviously what's driving the data into NT4. So you see that one's gone in perfect, look. But if I amend that, I suspect it will turn yellow. Yeah. There you go. So now I've amended that. My previous buy limit has been locked. There's some weird delay issue, isn't there? Now it's locked in. Very odd. Either that or there's a massive queue. Jesus, look at the volume at the open. 52,000 contracts. It's a very big volume gone in this morning as well. This afternoon. Russia virus attack. Yeah, that would not surprise me at all. Yeah. See if we can ride these down. NASA's got nowhere to stop. We've got an accumulation here, which was broken and supported. So that level there on the NAS is potentially going to be reactive. Dow, we're coming up to support at the minute. So we might get some pullbacks on these down here. EuroCAD's just hit ADR. So we've got some buying in here. Sellers have stepped up though and taken that out quite convincingly. So probably take quite a lot to buy that up from there. But we'll see. Still coming down on the other indices. Dow's broken its low, or broken its support. NAS is just hitting its support now. Getting bought up a bit there. Adrian, you logged into Chicago and that sorted it. Yeah, I am logged into Chicago already, so I think it's just some kind of delay or lag. Logging out and back in again, obviously, we'll probably sort that out. It's like hitting the refresh button on MT4 rescan servers. Just it basically logs you out and logs you straight back in again. So it puts you back in the queue. There's probably some kind of weird laggy queue thing going on at the exchange. Obviously, with futures, everybody's trading off the CME exchange, so we're all placing orders in the same place. Or all trying to get quotes filled in the same place. It's a chain smoking market today, yeah. As long as it keeps chain smoking all the way down to the lows, I'll be absolutely fine with it. If it gives up smoking halfway, I should be cross. Dow's just running into this little propulsion move. Wasn't out of an accumulation though, it was part of the accumulation, so it's not as strong as that one. And that one we just smashed it. So it did get supported on the NAS. Obviously they then stepped back up into there and the sellers stepped in. So it does look like a seller's market today. Whether or not they can sustain it though. Still a lot of people haven't got out of their stock positions yet, and they're seeing, the thing you've got to think about with these bear markets is you've got people leaving the market, and then as they leave the market, stock price drops. So everybody's still holding their stocks, is seeing their stock devalue. Then they see it pull back a bit, and then they see it put another leg in down, and then they see their stocks devaluing. So every time they're looking at the markets, they're seeing their stocks devalue and their wealth drop, which means they want to get out of those stocks before it drops any further. So it creates a frenzy of selling. And this is why we see these markets, it happens in FX as well. You see the markets climbing up the stairs like that and then boom, boom. Because this is, everybody buys stocks. You don't go short on stocks, do you? You buy stocks. So you see them going up, and then you see the drops are so much faster and harder most of the time. And there's a lot of people still sitting in these stocks which are devaluing over and over and over again. And obviously that's what you see on the daily. Yeah, everybody's been happily buying up for ages. Buying up, and bang, bang, bang. 50% of their wealth has gone literally in the last 2 weeks. People are getting out. The difficulty at the moment is trying to pick where to short from, not which direction to go. It's where do you short from? And obviously the other problem is trying to hold on to your shorts. Okay, just getting a little bit of a pullback. So looking for pullback into this area. CAD yen making a good move, is it? Wow, yeah. Fairly decent move across the board on the yens. This, yes, yen strength, I think, coupled with a weak Canadian dollar. Look, CAD's dropping at the same time as the yen is pushing. That's why that one's moving faster than the rest. Aussie's pushing up against the CAD. Pound will be pushing up against the CAD. So we've got a weak Canadian dollar and a strong yen. So Dixie's just having a little bit of a pullback, which is why we're seeing a little bit of strength. Not a lot. 1 bar pullbacks today would be very nice. We just have 1 bar pullbacks all the way down to there, and then you can do what you like. Gold. Is gold moving? Wow. 200% ADR move on gold. This is why I don't trade this thing. I just can't. It's crazy. That's not caused by the US dollar. That's been caused by gold buying. Otherwise, you'd see the inverse on the US dollar, which you can't. So that's just basically people just massive buy order gone in on gold. But interestingly, there's a lot of people selling it as well. So a lot of money moving hands today, up and down, but not a massive amount of directional bias anyway. Okay, so we're pulling back up into resistance. So looking for some kind of rejection around there. Hopefully. Wow, that's a big pullback. Gold's pushing back up again by the looks of things. That's a crazy candle. 200% ADR move, like. And all of it happened in pretty much the last 45 minutes. That's coincided with oil, look. That push on oil and gold happens at the same time. Now gold's oil is starting to roll over as well. Still no news coming through. Nice big pop of orders came in there. Do you see that? We're pushing up there and we suddenly yanked half that candle back. Big absorption order just gone in there. Good short sign. So if Biden is talking at 4:30, that's going to be round about lunchtime, isn't it? Oh my God, what is going on here? Mother of all whipsaws today. Smashed straight through that. Whoever bought that massive, whoever sold that massive order in there is regretting it. Jesus. So it basically looks like we're getting a support bounce. We'll see if this is a pullback on the down move. So at the moment, we're still only in a 50% pullback. Very, very strong though. Not going to give this too much more room. Beware the eyes of March, people making ITS and 401k decisions. IRAs. Yeah. Lots of stock movement for lots of reasons at the minute. Okay, so we're getting decent rejection off the 20. So 20 and 50, obviously the usual trend DMAs. So it's where we tend to see trend continuation moves from. So getting a decent rejection to start with there. So hopefully that's just a pullback on bearish market structure for the day down to the lows. We'll see. DAX is certainly looking bearish at the minute. We've still got 2.5 minutes left on the candle. Go on, oil. I feel like I've got a bit of a sort of confluence going on with oil and the indices. Indices down, oil up. Feel a little bit over leveraged on these two. But I've only got a small position on this. Well, I say small position, it's $700 risk. But if you look at it on the hourly, looks pretty good. If we get a 50% pullback on that move, the next leg up, or we just accumulate and flag, pretty solid trade. Good hunting all. Bring candy and liquor to the wife today. Or you sleep with a dog in the yard. Peace. Yes. Bring liquor and candy to the wife, and she'll be very cross with you because you put on a lot of weight. Then you'll be sleeping with a dog. Okay, we're holding up here at the minute. Should really have taken profit down there based on the whipsaw reopen we've had, but I didn't. That would have been a nice little profit take. Could have scaled in back again up there, but hindsight. US dollar's looking a little bit bearish as well. Very big wicks to the upside on the US dollar at the moment. It is only in accumulation though, so it's just choppy as hell, isn't it? Okay, retesting the lows again. Do not want a W here, please. Let's break down. Just had a reverse alert on the euro. I was just looking at euro on my other chart over here. Potentially starting to weaken a little bit, the euro. Okay, just testing the lows on the DAX. A few people buying the lows up. If we can crack this this low and get out of this area here, should be good. Down to the start of that move there, which I started playing at the open. So this is the open basically from this morning. You can see obviously the opening range high and low there, and that's where I played those longs out of that there this morning. So if we can get back to the open, we'll probably find some buyers in there, because everybody that bought this up this morning, if they're not adding to their positions here, we're likely to see them add to their positions here, if they're holding long, that is. Although I'm not sure there's many people holding long in this market at the minute, so we could just crash straight through it. What's that level I've got drawn on there? So it's this, just tapped into that support there and bounced off on the DAX. I'm going to take 4 off at the double bottom. I'm just worried about getting a double bottom bounce here. We've held this zone once. Unlikely we will, but if we do get back down to here, I don't really want to risk it. I just want to get some profit in the bank, basically. I've still got some to pay back, so and then I'll hold the runner for the lows, assuming we get back down there. Okay, I got 0.6% on the DAX. Just move my stops to break even just in case that pops back again. Toying with the idea of taking that off. Got 25 seconds on this candle. I'd like to see we break this, break these lows and get down to this little accumulation candle down there, but there we go. I'm going to close that out. I've got the short on, so there's 0.7% there. I've got the short on here. I don't really want to lose both positions if this isn't going to go. We're running the risk of basically having an uneven W form here and putting in a new high. I'm just going to move just in case we get a... because if we break these lows, we may well get a pop out these lows. And if we do get a pop, I would rather just take that little bit extra profit off of it and do it manually. A bit of a pullback going on at the minute. Volume's dropping quite considerably now. So hopefully we should just go into a trend here. And just continue. Just sent an email coming from my wife. I get the most romantic emails from my wife. Do you know what it says? Can you order poo bags? For the dog, obviously. Just in case you're wondering. Okay, next stop on the DAX is there. May get a bounce off of that, but more than likely coming back down into this zone here now, which bodes well. If the DAX gets down there, it will drag the S&P and the other indices with it. DAX does seem to be in the lead at the moment, which is quite nice to see. Just watching this 4160 level. With a keen eye, just to see what happens when we get there. We're either going to pop or we're going to bounce, potentially. Getting bought up at those lows. DAX still going. Still got 1 minute left on these candles. Should get through the lows here. NAS has just managed to break new lows on the session. Dow's miles behind at the minute. Okay, closing out 2. So we could well get caught up a little bit in chop down here. Might slow down a little bit. So back down to the opening range high from Frankfurt. Hit my TP from that trade. Got out way too soon. A little bit of a pullback again. Okay, so we've got divergence at the moment across the US indices. Dow's not quite got as much of a bear move on as the rest of the indices at the minute. Good strong push on the US still. So I want to see this US dollar pushing up to these highs basically, which should drive the indices down. Just really struggling. We just haven't even got out of London's range yet on the US, so a little bit stuck. Oil's made new highs, 130. So basically, we've just tapped into 130 a barrel. We're getting some signs of rejection at 130. This will be people taking profit at 130. Same as me, I'm targeting 150 a barrel. So anybody that bought up anywhere down here was targeting 130 a barrel. They're taking profits. So we're seeing selling orders coming in, obviously, because they're selling to get out their positions. So just getting a little bit of resistance at 130. And we'll see how high we can go from there. Aussie New Zealand's pushed 150 ADR. Uh, 14%. Just looking at the EA I've got running. The just banked 14% on some Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar moves. So I took some aggressive drawdown control positions on the Aussie New Zealand, which I'm out of now. Just toying with the idea of what to do on this Euro New Zealand. Still not convinced we're going to get any pumps on the Euro. So what I might do, just see in what position I've got Euro New Zealand. So I've got 1,600 there. So I'm going to take that $1,600 profit, pay for that one. It's 14 bank still. 6. Okay. So I've used half that profit to reduce drawdown on the positions. And then see what happens with the other two on those. That's all I've got running basically on... that's another account that's running the EA basically. Had some leftover positions. Little pullback on the DAX. I'm just going to put a sell stop under these lows. Just going for a 1-to-1 risk reward trade just down into that gap. I'll keep a close eye on it if it gets into profit, if obviously assuming it gets triggered. I can always get out of it at break even. So when we get roughly halfway into it, I'll just whack a break even on it and see if I can just scalp another 0.5%. Assuming the other indices, this is just a pullback before the next leg down. It is so slow now. Yeah, we've slowed down a lot. This will be my last trade. See if I can get out down at the lows. David caught a 40 pip move on pound CAD buys. Good job. Oops, didn't want to do that. Nice. 60 pip move off the reversal alert. $35 pip stop, so 1.5 to 1. Extended now on M5. Still pushing up on the DAX. The US indices are looking heavier though, apart from the Dow. The Dow and the DAX obviously are very closely linked because these are monitoring 30 to 40 stocks each, whereas obviously we've got 100 stocks and 500 stocks. So these guys tend to be faster movers. But you got stronger stocks in these, so the movement is a lot more sort of steady, which is why they're nice to trade, especially the DAX. GA is moving. I'm now only 2.25 ADR from break even. Wow. I've done it again. Yeah, it's possible to tell. We're running into potential resistance here. So you've got a gap and you've got resistance. But if it pops that, those highs are basically going to be the test. And there's loads of places this could stop on the way up. But it's got, it's the pound. We've got a good chance of the pound recovering a lot faster than the euro will. And the euro's not doing a bad job at the moment. So I think you've got a lot more chance on the pound than you have on the euro. But saying that, they've both got an opportunity to push at the moment. God, we have slowed down, haven't we? Let's have a nice big bearish engulfing, put it on this M5 candle, and then just break these lows and get this trade done. Then I can go home. Hang on a minute, I am home. Then I can go and do something else. I've got to wash my patio down. Just had a new patio laid. And the guys grouted it this morning. It's porcelain, so they've had to grout it rather than the normal stuff you put into patio slabs. And God, does it make a mess. I've got to go and jet wash that all down. Little tip for anybody thinking about getting patio. Don't get an absolutely massive one that takes up half your garden. Because what I didn't realise or think about when I decided to have a 40-metre patio built was you got to fill it with stuff. So now I've had to buy furniture, plant pots, trees. The cost of the patio does not stop at the cost of the patio. Didn't think that one through. Anyway, so I'm just up to break even on this 4 contracts short. I'm just getting ready to deal with it in case it does break high. So we're pushing up to a 50% retracement again on this leg. Don't want to see it get above the 61.8 ideally. But we're pretty bullish across the indices at the minute. A little bit of a push. So 41.83. So somewhere between the 61.8 and the 76 retracement. If we break that level and hold that level, I think we may have seen the end of this push down and we're going to rotation for the day. End with a spinning top. Let's hope we don't do that. So just dealing with another Holy Grail hunter. Not dealing with, that's the wrong way to put it. I'm just educating a Holy Grail hunter. What's the minimum balance for the price action toolkit? Don't know. However much you got in your account, you hit the buttons, you trade with it. People are always looking for an EA to just automatically make the money. I'll give you £2,000 in my account. How much can you make me? Does not work that way. Wish it did. We've tapped up into potential resistance. Not quite, actually, on the DAX. It seems to be slowing down up here. So we're still holding the 20. We're still just about holding the 20. But we are really, really slowing down here. So only just managed to put new lows in, which is kind of what worries me about this at the minute. Dow's tapped into support, resistance. So's the NAS. Pound odds hit its weekly range. Not that any of this makes any difference whatsoever at the minute. Good move on the US dollar CAD. Wrong account. I'm doing Robo Forex. There we go. I was looking at my chart thinking, why is that up there? Wrong MT4. Too many MT4s open. Okay, I'm just going to cancel that pending order off. It's too far away now. So I got 1200 point move to the downside potentially. If this is going to hold at the 20 or the 50. So I'm going to go with the sell stop. And just see if we can get this move down. Fairly tight stop on this one. But I think we've got more downside. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under that IRB. Stop just above the high. So if that triggers, hopefully that'll be the next leg down. So this is the deepest pullback we've had since we've had the open. 3-bar pullback. Excuse me. So definitely, sellers are definitely weakening. Still in control at the moment though. Just. Longs on oil are back to break even. So again, a decent pullback on the oil. So 130 a barrel was resistance. So that might be the high of the day put in on oil now. Up here. So we'll see how we hold up down there. If not, pull back to this accumulation. And then see if we can get a second leg up tomorrow. Damn. That doesn't bode well. Don't like the look of that. I'm just going to bring my stop down to these highs. Getting out. Would you believe it? I was break even down there. Okay, so we've just tapped into recent highs. So we're double topping at the minute. We've broken the highs, so just cancel that off. So I'm up $1,000 on this account now. This is only day one. Is this day one? Day two? When did I start this account? Yesterday? Can't remember. So yeah, so $1,000 up at the moment on that one, which is whatever that is. What's my target? 5k. So 25% of the way there. Getting rejection at these highs. Trying with the idea of jumping in short again on this one. This is a new 5-minute candle, isn't it? Pound odd ADR. Got sell stop. So basically looking to play a 50 bounce on this and double top. So we've got confluence with the 50 MA and a double top on this pullback. So I'm just going to jump in with a short. See if we can get bearish engulfing. If we can get bearish engulfing, jump in with another couple of contracts. Play that down to the lows. Get out on a break of the highs. Assuming I get into the position, that is. Aussie dollar, US dollar has just hit ADR. Looks like we've got a load of movement going on the Aussie dollar. No. Quite sure what that was. Pound odd. So pound, yeah, got good movement on the pound. Apart from the Swissy, we've got some movement coming in on the Swiss franc. Swiss franc's strengthening up as well. Still not a lot of movement, is there? Very, very sluggish session. Doesn't look like I'm going to get triggered on that. So we are long out the top of the highs at the minute. So coming back up to the opening range lows. Can't make its mind up, can it? So I'm still gonna play a short on this, I think, this afternoon. So I'm gonna basically leave these pendings in place. If we get a break of this low, which will be a rejection of these highs, and a pullback on that move, still going to come and see if we can target these lows. We're getting bearish price action coming in across the board at the moment, but we need to wait for these candles to close. Still got 4 minutes. This is a new 5-minute candle. Might take a couple of shorts actually quickly there with a tight stop. Just to try an initial position. If this is going to be the a rejection of this double top, I want to get in early on it and add to it as we come down. So yeah, I'm still going to try and play this short this afternoon. I still think we are going to be bearish at the moment. I still think there's people piling out of stocks. So looking for a short close. Whether or not we actually retest these lows, don't know. And we're either going to retest these lows and then slam through and get down to the monthly lows, or we're going to sort of chop around and rotate today. And if we rotate, it's just very difficult to make money. Just going to get wicked and whipsawed around. So I don't really want to try and scalp this, because as you can see, it's all over the gaff at the minute. So I'm probably just going to play that short this afternoon, see if I can get that loss back basically and get sort of a couple of $100 in the bank. But at the moment I'm sitting on 660 down on this account, which is really annoying. I should have taken the profit down there. I had a break even there, but I hate taking break even. If you just trade yourself to break even all the time, you'll never make money. So you're better off pushing the positions to actually make a gain. And so many people do this. I do this as well sometimes. You go into drawdown and then you get yourself back to break even. You go, phew, I didn't lose any money, but you didn't make any money. And most traders' strike rate is below 50%. So if you do that all the time, every time you go into drawdown on your account, get yourself back to break even and escape your positions, all you're ever doing is gradually grinding your account away. So you're better off getting in, like I'm going to do here, take a loss of $100, or scale in and take a winner of 1,000 and hold it. Conviction in the trade, basically. It's very, very difficult to do, but it's very important, because if I'd have taken a break even there, yes, I would have been sitting at zero, but then I'm still chasing the day. I'm still trying to make money today, which means I overtrade. So you have to take losses, especially in futures. Not in Forex, obviously. But then again, not trading Forex at the moment because the market's all over the place. I just really want someone to take Putin out so I can get back to trading normally. I didn't say that, if you're listening, Mr. Putin. Still pushing up on the DAX. Back up to 50. So looking at this entire move we've had so far, where we've turned green to red, we're now back to sort of the midline. So 61.8 potentially for a drop down, or we're likely to just rotate for the rest of the day. So I'm going to play the short because that's where the money's going to be. If it's going to move, it's going to push down. There goes, taken out of that position again. I have $1,000 loss. So I've still got one more trade short, which I will take. Oops. It's annoying when you close out, when you add to an ATM strategy. It's the only annoying thing about Ninja. If you add to an ATM strategy and you set your trade up, and then you get taken out of your trade with a stop, it removes all of the pendings you had in, which is probably good by design, isn't it? Because you then don't forget about it. But it's just a bit annoying because you have to put them back on again. Right, so break of this wick on this candle here for initial entry. Second entry when we break these lows, and gathered up for target at the lows. And that's pretty much all I'm going to get today. I'm not going to risk it too much beyond that position. So I'll take whatever that gives me if it gives it to me. So much whipsaw. Look. 10 minutes. All we've done for 10 minutes is just basically whipsaw everybody out. Horrible market. Right. So news-wise, we've still got no news been released this afternoon. Very, very slow news day, which is fine. Obviously, there's no news apart from low speaking later. And then tomorrow we've got job opening. So again, no news tomorrow morning. So tomorrow afternoon, we've potentially got some movement after the market open. That's coming down hard now. I can see that on my eye. Let's go one short on the DAX. Oh, that's a bit tight. That's probably going to be about 0.6%, 0.7% risk. Going for the lows. So yeah, news tomorrow, not a lot. Main news is on Thursday, so don't expect a massive amount of movement again tomorrow. We've had a very flat session today. We've had a decent movement session, but it's been very flat in Forex, as in we haven't really moved anywhere. We've had a lot of movement up and down, but no direction on anything much. We're holding ahead of the ECB press conference, and obviously with what's happening with Biden and oil. So we're going to get the announcement this afternoon from Biden, I suspect. Wouldn't surprise me if the UK puts more sanctions in place as well this afternoon. And then obviously that will affect what Lagarde comes out and potentially says here as well, because if they're thinking about doing bond release in Europe, that may well affect the interest rates. So we might have on our hands a little bit of a shock on Thursday. We don't get shocks, obviously, with rates very often. Very, 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 very rare. When we do get them, it sends massive shockwaves through the market. So if we are going to get one, potentially this week is the one, isn't it? Because we've got an awful lot of stuff which was planned, which may well be thrown out with the window with what's been going on in the Ukraine. So Thursday could be a big day. We've then got the ECB press conference when CPI is released. So we're going to have massive volatility Thursday afternoon before the market opens at 2:30. So all kind of gearing up for Thursday this week. So any movement you get this week is good ahead of that, because I think that's when we're going to get the real moves starting. So gathered up into those four positions. So see if we can get a continuation push down off the back of this candle and ride it back down. See what I've got in the bank when we get down to these lows. I suspect that will be somewhere in the region of $500 down there. So that'll chip away nicely at that loss. So I'll probably do the same thing. Take 4 off and let 2 run. Assuming the trade actually works this time, obviously. We've got this big propulsion gap, which we're testing at the minute on the NAS. So, and obviously we've got one on the S&P as well, same place. So we may well have a load of buyers step in here and slam this up. We will see what happens. So that's my plan for this afternoon. Is try and just get one more short play out of this. If that doesn't work, I'm going to call it a day. I'll post what happens in the Telegram group. If you've got anything else you want to look at, obviously let me know. Stick it in the Telegram group. I will be in there around and about. I did get some coding done on the MT5 version of the price action toolkit this morning. Wrong MT4. Let me shut that one down. I don't need Robo anymore because I'm not trading that account. So Yeah, I have got the MT5 version of this started. It's all compiled and ready to test. So basically I need to set aside an hour or two tomorrow for testing and actually basically get a demo and trade it, basically. Make sure it's all working, test all the automated functionality. And assuming that is working, I'll get that pushed out hopefully tomorrow or the day after, depending on how much time I get. So just got gathered into that short as well with that stop. So we'll see if we get that one play out as well. Okay, so yeah, not an amazing session on futures this afternoon. Difficult one, but not unsalvageable at the minute. If I can come out today with a couple of $100 loss, I think that's probably a victory today. But we'll see if we can get this move to the downside continued. So yeah, anything you need, stick it in the Telegram group. I will be in there. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50, usual time for the Frankfurt Open. We'll trade some more DAX, see if we can get a nice big out the gates move like we had this morning. It'd be very nice. Get a couple of percent in the bank. Yeah, and obviously just bear in mind we've got Aussie dollar news with Low speaking at 10:15 this evening. So that is potentially going to be a volatile one because obviously the changeover is at 10 o'clock in the UK. Very, very, very light liquidity at 10:15 p.m. UK time. So if anything comes out of that, you could see some really big spike candles on the Aussie and the New Zealands. So worth staying up for because you could easily take advantage of those if you've got positions on Aussie dollars and it goes your way. You can have some real nice outs. So keep your eyes peeled on those. I've got that Euro New Zealand long, so I'm going to stay up for that one. Right, stay up for it. God, how old am I? Staying up till 10:15. I'm normally in bed by 9. It's because I'm up so early. It's not because I'm old, it's just because I'm up early. That's what I tell myself anyway. Right, okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8:50, at 7:50 even. I'll let you know what happens to this one this afternoon. Hopefully this one will play out and dig us out of some of this hole. And hopefully you'll have a good afternoon as well. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 7:50. Have a good one.